Welcome to Next Level Love Stories,
Mm-hmm.
where we take a behind-the-scenes look at real-life relationships to share the truth about what this adventure of love can really look like and what it takes to succeed.
Yeah, we're your hosts, Dr. Jenny Wallach.
That's me.
And Calvin O'Seely, and we're the founders of Powerful Love Relationships and the creators of the Be the One method for creating extraordinary relationships. And today, we're excited to welcome David and Laura Helen.
Hi. David and Laura. Yeah. Yes, thank you. Hello. Let me introduce you guys. David and Lauren, y'all, have spent over 2 decades of their life growing, learning, and building a beautiful life together. Their journey has been marked by resilience, love, and an unbreakable bond. Through the ups and downs, they have faced many challenges, always supporting one another along the way. While raising their incredible little ones, they've created a life on purpose, intentionally crafting their dreams into reality. That is it, right?
Yeah,
like that is
that's the
what we all
dream.
want to do, right? Now they get to travel the world full time as a family,
That's awesome.
experiencing new adventures, embracing the freedom they've worked so hard to achieve. Each challenge brings them closer, teaching them invaluable lessons about perseverance, strength, and the power of unity. Their story is a testament of love, teamwork, and the unwavering belief that together they can overcome anything. Welcome, David and Laura. We're so excited to have you here on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Yes. So tell us, tell us about your love story. How did this unbreakable bond, this beautiful love come to be?
It sounds romantic from the long version, from the end. The beginning wasn't quite so romantic. Dave worked behind a bar and I like to have a drink.
Nice.
It was that simple. So I would go in, my drink would be on the bar with my favourite colour, yellow straw. Already. And we just got chatting and then, it happened quite quickly, didn't it?
Yeah.
We lived really far away. Dave would come all the way up to travel. And then I started missing Mondays and he started missing Fridays. And eventually we both got fired. So then we moved in together and then we've worked and lived together ever since.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many years has it been now?
22.
Yeah, 22 years.
22.
Congratulations.
Amazing.
That's so great. And so what for the two of you makes this relationship feel like a next level love?
They always say the honeymoon period lasts like a year and stuff. And before kids, we didn't have kids for 10 years. And the first 10 years, I got breakfast in bed every day for 10 years.
Oh,
wow. That's amazing.
I believe it's all the little things. So I'm very cutesy and will leave notes, especially if I'm making his lunch. Or even steaming up a shower, I'll write in the steam. I think it's all the little silly things that make the big magical and possible. So we're all about doing those little things, making meals. It's something we pass on to the kids. When they make a meal and once they put it on the plate, it's made with love. They've put in so much effort. I love the main ingredient. It's all very cheesy and corny, but it's the stuff that makes it work. And we're just open communication.
Yes.
We're very...
Communication is a key.
Yeah.
And so even when there's disagreements, as long as you both know the reason why and your intentions, that's the key.
Intentions are a game changer. Because if you just get mad, if you're just like, I did that thing, your partner never wakes up and thinks, how can I annoy her today?
Right.
Their intention is, I was trying to do this. So now we ask each other differently. Rather than me going, why did you do that? I'll look at him and go, what were you trying to achieve? And then he'll tell me this beautiful thing he was trying to do and it all just went wrong. And then I can see, you were trying to do that. And then we can work out how we'd make it work next time rather than it just makes it change the game.
And that way you want to help and improve next time and always do something for each other.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
we try and outlove each other.
I like that game.
Like, who can bring more to it? Because it's not 50-50, it's 100 and 100.
Yeah.
So we're always playing that game. Or even we did it with our anniversaries. When our wedding anniversaries, the first one I got the day off work, Dave didn't. So I picked him up in a limo. We went to a safari, did all this amazing stuff. Second year, he bought a helicopter. Like, we just outplay to outlove each other and just, it's so fun.
It's amazing. How fun.
I love that competition.
Yeah.
I also love what you previously were talking about around, you know, and you didn't say this directly, but you're talking about really the power in curiosity and being curious about, like, what is it that you are trying to attack? Because I recognize you're trying, and you know, like, what's happening. You're assuming the benefit of the doubt, which is another thing we talk to our clients about, right? But the power of just wanting to understand, wanting to experience the love, right? That's being shared with you.
Since I discovered feminine energy, that is different and we should be different. My core feminine is playful curiosity. It's very much, it's that playful curiosity, seeing the good, seeing the intentions, and being more flowy, non-controlly. Someone said something to me when I was, now I'm a mummy, and they said, your son will marry you. And I went, oh my God, I don't want someone as strong as me diminishing anything that my son is. And I recognized that in me, that I was a female car mechanic. I got this. I moved out very young. I've held my own. I'm the breadwinner. And I was very...
and then masculine energy.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I learned to play and I learned that, now I love it. I'll go shopping. I come home. I pull up in the car and I leave the car. My boys appear. They empty and bring all the shopping in. So I haven't got to carry it. It's all like little things. It started with simple things like, can you open my bottle? Just to help me
Even though she could have done it. Yeah, very useful.
It was just playful. Because I grew up in a household that was my mum. We've learned so much about energy. So I grew up with my mum. So I became the masculine so that we wouldn't butt heads so much. Dave grew up in a household with his dad. And he kind of came on with a feminine energy. So we're both the oldest. So we could both get on with our parents. So we both took on the wrong role. We were wearing masks and layers. And we've had this journey of like...
switching around.
I got pregnant and suddenly... mush. Absolute mush.
Wow.
So it's been a journey.
Yeah, tell us more about that.
When we first started dating, I'm sorry, I'm going to share. We'd like go to the movies and Dave would cry. And I was so much like, what an idiot. Why is he crying? No feelings. I had it so together. Then I got pregnant and good card, advert. Someone looks like they're being kind.
Yeah.
Absolute mush. And I went completely the other way.
I still cry now, but it's a bit more 50-50.
But now we know how to everyone. And it's finding how you best fit in that energy. I totally wasn't balanced. I was totally masculine. Then I went total mush. And now I call it put on different hats. I like to wear a cap. So when I've got to get stuff done, I can put on a masculine hat and absolutely achieve. But then we work together. So if we're ever feeling a bit of pressure, I can literally leave the room, just go into the bathroom, breathe from my right nostril, get back into my feminine, walk back in the room, tension's gone. I don't have to say anything. Just me being back in my girly, it's all gone.
That's amazing.
We've always worked together, lived together, and
now we travel too.
And now we travel together. So it's like 24/7, 365, no days off. There's no...
He never goes away.
8 hours at work to any kind of rest. It is like full on all the time.
Yeah. So you have to find ways to really stay in harmony with one another and bounce back rather quickly when you move into dissonance, right? Disharmony. You're finding your way back in. And I love that ebb and flow, that consciousness you're talking about in choosing which hat you're wearing, which energy I'm in. How do I respond to what our family needs, our business needs, our relationship needs in this moment?
And it all super got amplified when we had the children.
Yes. Oh, children do that 100%.
We're their example of what their relationship should be.
Yes.
And when you realize that you have all that responsibility,
yeah,
I want them to see, when they were younger, they were like, yeah, mummy's boss.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. We are a team. And no matter how much I said it, we weren't living it. So we really had to, Dave has stepped up hugely and changed everything he does and the way he does things and approaches things. And I've mellowed and calmed and I flow and be a girl, which is even weird for me to say out loud, but we've learned to make it much more balanced. So they literally see now we are a team.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I love that.
I would love to hear more about what it took to get there.
Yes, to be able to manage kids and travel and business and relationship and 24/7, 365 in such an unbreakable, joyful, connected way.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of personal development, self-development. We have done insane amounts. Our children became firewalkers with Tony Robbins at age 4 and 7.
Wow.
So they've been in that environment too from a very young early age. That's a story in itself. You're either about to be the best mum in the world or you're going to jail. There's no in between with a firewalk and a small child. Scary moment.
Thankfully, it was a good one.
We've become who we are. So we've, and I think we owe a lot to people like Tony Robbins and Gary Vee and all these people out there sharing messages, sharing truths, making you go inside.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the reason we're so happy, we're not consumed by stuff and the having. We're trying to be human beings rather than human havings, getting stuff. I need stuff. So we're trying to live in the moment, be present, enjoy each other, and not get overwhelmed by all that stuff. You have to go inside to work. People get sad, they buy something new, rather than go in and do the work. It hasn't been easy. We've gone through journeys. We've changed it. It's like you said, sounds awful like that, but it's been 2 decades. So we've completely changed who we are. We're changing all the time, but we grow together. We had a phase where I went to loads of Tony Robbins events, part of his crew. So I went to event. And we came back and started talking, and I'm like, whoa, you need to catch up, go to an event.
I was still in that sort of one frame negative kind of mind, and she's already leaps and bounds ahead. So come on, go and do it. And so it really helped. And so it brought me back up to level. So now we're both where we need to be.
And growth is our game, isn't it? We're always, I've learned this new thing. Have you heard this? Oh, have you read this book? Oh my gosh. And with the work we do, we help people create books. So I'm literally downloading life stories all the time.
Yeah.
And then we work through those together with the clients. And of course, we'd be silly to think we're teaching them. They're actually passing on so much knowledge and information because it's their raw truth. They've learned the hard way.
Yes. Yeah. Just like these stories that we're doing here, right? Like you just in sharing your story are teaching us, are teaching anybody who listens, like life and resiliency and what it takes
and what's possible.
And I love that you two are speaking to the insane levels of personal growth that you've done, because we believe that is absolutely the key to having extraordinary relationships, right? It's not, you don't just like work on the relationship. Yes, that's a part of it. But if you're not working on growing who you be, right? Growing the part of the relationship that is you, the relationship does not evolve because it's each of us that creates that relationship.
Absolutely.
Too many people look for the other person to complete them, to fulfill them, to make them happy. And it's like, no, that person's you.
Yes.
You need to bring that to the table for you. And then together you go amplify that happy.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, you kind of mentioned it earlier, right? Like, it's not that each of us is a 50% necessarily. We're each 100%. All in to create this organism called a relationship. Yeah, so good.
Yep. I love it. So what advice would you give to people who want to have a next level love like yours?
Be honest. there's all these quotes that say, you know, marriage is hard, divorce is hard, choose your hard.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, they're both hard. They're both a journey. We'd be lying if we went, oh, it's easy, just go for it. There's been challenges, there's been roadblocks. It's quite often not us, is it? It's something in front of us that we need to overcome. And communication, I think, is the big one. If you can be really honest, even when it's hard, it's better to have those hard conversations and be great after than just let it stack, especially women. You know, you're out there into this stuff, and then one day we explode and it seems really over the top, and they're like, why are you even mad? And in that second, you can't think of any reason, and you go blank and it's over and done. Or you then list like everything. 5 years worth of grievances. Whereas if you just spoke it out, if you just talk to each other, we don't do it in public. So especially early on, we don't do it so much now, we don't need to. Early on, if they said something in front of people and I'm like, I did not like that. After the party, after the meeting, whatever it is, I'll be like, you said this, that made me feel like this. I don't like that. Please don't do that again. And it normally comes from a like, oh my God, I had no idea you felt like that. Rather than in the moment being like, I don't know.
The drama and the
reacting.
Yeah.
I think a key thing was having a joint account with money at the beginning.
Yeah.
Because a lot of couples argue over money. You've had this, you've done this. You're saving up for this. Why are you doing it? Whereas we put all money in, all money comes out. It's a joint. Say we're together.
That's sadly true. It all comes right back out.
We're as one. Which I think that's the key thing.
Yeah. Well, I think to circle back to the communication piece, because as you're talking about money, I'm thinking about a friend of ours who does money coaching, like for couples, in terms of just how to have money conversations.
Yeah, it's a whole level of intimacy, right?
Right, because like just talking about money or the idea of sharing money can be really activating for people. And we hear a lot of couples talk about communication as like like everybody kind of knows that communication is essential to their relationship, but it's communication that is really hard for them to do, right? Communication is what they struggle with. And we know how we help people with that story, that experience. But I'm curious what you all like find helpful in being able to communicate honestly. Like how did you maybe in the beginning deal with defensiveness or reactivity or not assuming a positive intention, right? Like all of those internal pieces before they were maybe really developed for you, because you've been together for a long time. I can't imagine you were always this good. So what did you learn that has enabled you to be able to communicate so much better, so much more easily?
I think we always do it on purpose. We always communicate on purpose, which sounds ridiculous. We hold meetings. We do it with the kids. We have a family meeting where we all grade each other out of like, what is it, 5, 10?
Yeah.
How am I as a mum? How is he as a dad? How is he as a son or a brother, or she is a sister? And we all grade each other. We all say, this was great. This would make it a 10 next week. This was great. And we do it as a couple. So we do it as a family, mum and dad. And then we do it as like husband and wife. Like that's a different conversation to mum and dad. In the beginning, there probably was lots of triggers. I watched my mum go through lots of breakups and it always cost her. I know they say the mum always wins. It didn't work out in this case. She was always paying off the last guy's debts and all this crazy stuff. So when it came to money, if anyone was to have triggers, like, hello, I don't know, I guess we just wanted it to work.
Yeah.
So we made it work. And we're very, we used to be brutal. I know I was. He was probably nicer because he was the softer one then. But if something wasn't going right or something wasn't working out, we'd have that open, honest conversation.
Yeah.
And we never did it with the intention of it's going to be over. That's not something we've never threatened. We've never discussed.
Never nasty.
It's
Nothing
never
spiteful said to each other.
We never said anything we would regret.
No.
Because it's not. We're not looking for the end. Too many people are looking for the easy out. We don't see that as an option, really. So it's.
And so if we was to sort of argue, it would be about the situation or the thing around it. It wasn't against each other. It was the situation that was the problem, or that was the issue.
That's so good. Yeah, you didn't blame one another. Point the finger of blame. That's so good.
Yeah. I love the idea of communicating on purpose. It really is a profound idea, actually. It sounds like it wouldn't be, but the truth of it is, like, often we are communicating just in reactivity, just because something's coming up within us. We didn't like that, so we say it, or we're upset and carrying around this resentment, and we know we need to say it. And
it's
so
not going through any kind of filtering, though, sometimes, right?
And so what you two are bringing to light so beautifully is this consciousness around, like, why are we communicating? What do I want to learn here? What is the outcome I want? And one of the biggest outcomes I'm picking up on from you, and correct me if I'm wrong, is like, I want to come back into connection. I want to still have love between us. I want to be able to use communication to address the situation or share or give feedback. But I also want this communication to, like, work for us and not push you further away or not create more disconnect between us. And that's a whole other mindset, right? A whole other lens from which to approach communication in our relationships. And it makes all the difference in the world.
And even in the early days, when he'd make me really crazy, I'd literally grab his face and go, "Oh, I love you so much." And it was, "Oh, I want to hate you right now," but I wouldn't say that because I don't. It's just something is infuriating me right now.
At that moment.
And then we turn it into playful, get over ourselves a little bit to get to a point where we can talk again. I mean, now we know all the stuff. We can have you heard of Ho'oponopono? I don't know how to say it properly.
Yep.
The Hawaiian prayer, and we'll look at each other and do that. It just melts us. We even make the kids do it when they argue. It's magical.
Oh, I love it.
But that's coming from a very different space. How we communicate now is so much easier. And it's not sweating the small stuff. We got big plans, big dreams. That stupid little stuff, like, it doesn't matter. Let's just, okay, great. Let's keep going. And sometimes this meeting is a perfect example. I didn't set up what I should have set up. Dave's very organized. He pre-plans everything. I'm like, it'll be fine. 5 minutes in, oh, damn, I haven't done what I needed to do. I'm very much like winging a prayer, and David's like, he's had a plan for 3 weeks and he's read the questions.
We don't know.
And he'll be like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Yep, you're right. It happened. It's in the past. It's done. I can't change it now. Let's go." So I was wrong, and we're very quick to say, especially if we mess up, we're very quick to go, "You're right. My bad. I got that really wrong," and it makes it much easier and quicker to just forget, move over, and crack on.
Exactly. Yeah. Who doesn't love accountability, right? Like that quick repair, that quick acknowledgement. So you can just like move on and not dwell on something you can't change anyway. I love that.
Yeah, exactly.
What do y'all think is the biggest challenge that your relationship has faced so far in these 22 years?
It's going to sound awful, but it's our daughter.
I don't think that's awful. I think our kids are probably one of our biggest challenges. Parenting.
They come through the portal to be the challenges that we need to grow. I fully believe that.
I always joke that she's my biggest nemesis, and she makes me learn so much.
Yes.
Because when I was pregnant with my little boy, we heard about this little girl which wasn't in a good place, in a lot of trouble. And I grew up on the Good Samaritan. I can't help but help. So we brought her home. We faced a nearly 3-year legal adoption battle, which absolutely financially messed us up. Also, the torment every single day that we didn't have any legal standing. So someone could have come and collect every single day for 3 years. Living on edge after having just had a baby. Anyone who's had a baby will appreciate hormones, emotions. So that was really tough times. Also, she went through huge traumas You wouldn't wish this stuff upon your enemy, all by age 3.
Oh my God.
And we've had to deal with the repercussions of that on a daily basis. And so many people that know and love us and know the journey don't know how we stayed together, because they want to triangulate, they want to try and cause all this stuff. Because we are so solid, or it's forced us even more solid.
Yeah.
So it's not like, oh, mum said, dad said. We always check in. We don't do responses and we don't react. We've got each other. We have to catch each other. Because if the one says yes and one says no, then games get played. She's much better now. We've done all this self-development. She's been with Tony and all this cool stuff. But that journey, that challenge, the financial, it completely, we pretty much mortgaged the child just to keep her safe.
Wow.
And it costs more than all our other outgoings.
Wow.
Just the legal bills with the interest and everything coming in every month.
Mm-hmm.
So that was probably our biggest
challenge. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which we're kind of finding out of the other side now. It's only taken like 12 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so that was probably our biggest main thing. But then because of that, we couldn't see a way out of the debt. So we created the lifestyle we did. We created a crazy lifestyle. We paid it all off in 3 years whilst traveling the world with our children. So as far as our family see, we're this stable, normal couple with normal jobs, and we have the house and we have the cars. Then we have children. This is how it looks from the outside. We have children and go, we're not going to work. We're not going to school. We're going to give up everything, have everything in a suitcase, and just travel the world on airplanes. So to the world, they were like,
you're nuts.
We didn't have laptop lifestyle, digital nomads, all these cool words. They literally just called us batshit crazy.
Right.
We thought we were nuts. We couldn't understand it at all. So that rejection, that judgment.
3 years, and so they went to us.
We had 2 solid years where no one communicated with us or anything. They completely cut us off, blocked us. If we didn't have each other, I think, especially I'm very, very close with some of my family, and to have that just torn away for a couple of years. But we knew we were doing what was best for our children, and that's what kept us going through. And now everything's rosy and brilliant again. But again, that 2 years of almost solitude from all our closest people, it made us stronger.
I really appreciate the way that your relationship showcases what we can get through when we have that strong bond. Right? Because there might be some people listening to y'all talk and they're in it. They're in the isolation, or they're in the financial struggles, or they're in the newborn phase or struggles with kids. And, your story shows not only that it's possible, right, that you will get to a place where you can pay off your debt, that it's rosy again, that you're not so alone, but also how important it is to keep attending to that bond and allowing your relationship to be a resource and a life raft to one another as you're going through those struggles. Because I know that, not everybody knows how to do that in their relationship, right? When they're stressed and when it feels like shit's all falling apart.
People don't communicate. When they get stressed, when something happens that's challenging, they stop communicating.
Right. They kind of go inward.
Yeah, and it breaks my heart, because you see a mum with a newborn and people don't tell you. They don't tell you. It's so hard.
Oh my
God.
God.
First year of the child's life, it's all on you. If anything happens, if they die, they don't die, but you hold all this responsibility. And people don't get it and they don't understand it. And we were really lucky. We had siblings that had kids before us, and we'd watch the mum feed the kid first and then try and entertain the kid while dad's at his dinner and he's just sat chilling. And I'm looking at Dave going, did you see that? He's finished. Why didn't he let wifey eat? So we watched them play out. I had my little rants. David took it on board.
Good.
So when I had my baby, it comes up to dinner time, and back then I was feeding him, he'd be like, oh, let me give him a cuddle. There's food there. Go eat it. And he's like, he would make me eat first, or he'd let me feed the baby. And then once he's finished, he'd entertain the babies while I then eat my food. We were so conscious because we'd watch other couples. And it's telling them if he's not doing something that I really need him to do.
Yeah, key thing.
The first time might not always be nice, but I will tell him what I need. And then the great thing is he listens and he picks it up.
Yeah.
Little things they say. I remember the first time he rolled over and went, oh, he slept through, didn't he? No, he didn't. Sleeping like a daddy. He never said that twice. But I think you need to ask for the help you need. Sometimes a guy, when he's had a really hard day at work and things are going hard at work, when he comes home, he needs some love, some pampering, some nurturing. Women, when they've got a baby, hold the baby, let her take a shower, let her eat some food. Yeah. It sounds so obvious, but it just doesn't happen. And some mums are scared to ask because it's their thing. It's what they have to do. No, they need some. Mummies get lost. Mummies get absolutely lost.
Yeah, that's so true.
So if you tell the husband or the partner, you tell them what you want, they're more happy to help and want to help you. But if they don't know and not even thought of it, that's where things get lost. So communication, asking, and if things do go wrong, this is what I wanted you to do, and tell them, okay, all right, next time I know what to do.
Well, David, I love that you have that, like, you're grounded, you're anchored in that love, that desire to continue to show up for Laura, to respond to her needs when she lets you know. And I'm sure it's vice versa.
Yeah.
And I'll just say that, like, well, I'm thinking about John Gottman's research on relationships, and one of the key factors he found is the husband's openness to influence from his wife in, cisgender heterosexual relationships anyways. But what I bringing this up because I want the men who are listening to hear, like, how really critical it is to receive your wife's feedback and not take it personally, not get defensive, not feel like it's like you somehow have failed because you didn't read her mind or you didn't automatically know, or the thing you were trying wasn't effective or what she really wanted. And this, of course, goes for both people, not just men, but typically, I'd say there's it's not all men, my friends. It's not all men, not all couples, where when one partner does communicate that their spouse or partner is so receptive, so willing to hear that feedback and course correct.
Yeah.
And that's a key, right? Like that is a key shift that has to happen in order for safety to be there, in order for communication to, like, continue to flow. When either of you in our partnerships, when either of us are saying, like, hey, I didn't like this didn't feel good, or hey, I need you to do this, or hey, no, that's not what happened, that we receive it and learn. And not, like, get caught up in our own stuff when that happens, because
taking his guidance rather than a telling off, and so never done negatively, or even sometimes it is. Sometimes it is.
I had grumpy mums,
but you just take it in and think, okay, I need to learn for next time. I know how to make her happy. I can.
We love the love languages. I think that's a game changer. Our kids have written books about it, so kids can understand. But knowing each other's love languages, mine and Dave's are very different. And before we knew this, it'd drive me nuts. He'd be stroking me all the time. And I'm like, I am not a dog. Do not pet me. But his love language is touch. So I'm like, get off of me. And he's like trying to love me. Whereas I'm like, you haven't told me I'm pretty today. What's going on? Because mine is words. So too many people love the way they would love to be loved instead of learning their partner's love language and loving them that way. My son's got it down. He knows the 6 human needs and the 5 love languages. My husband does anything and he's like, good job, Dad. Words and a pat on the back, like he does the touch and the words, and he knows Dad's happy. Like when you know someone else's love languages, you can serve them at what they need, not what you want.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an absolute game changer. And we tell each other, like, we have rules. If whether we have a wobble, we're like, okay, what do we need every day? Because I used to leave him little notes everywhere. I'm words.
Yep.
He always wants to stroke me. I am not a dog, but he's touch. And like I want, especially when we went and did jobs like normal people, I was like, I want a message in the day that says something nice. I want this little thing. I want that little thing. And he'd be like, I like, you know, hold my hand when we're out in public. I like it when we do like this, like whatever it is. And we just communicate that. So moving forward, I loved breakfast in bed. Oh my God, 10 years breakfast in bed. And then when I really needed it because I had children, it stopped.
Kids breakfasts. But you get a lion now and again.
But even now, we still take care of each other. If we see each other, especially when we're in the midst of it with my daughter, sometimes it would be like, okay, go and have a day. And he would just go disappear for a day and just do whatever he needed to do to refill so we can be our best. I remember I drove myself to the cinema, watched Bad Mums with some chocolate. What a movie as a new mum to watch. Oh my God, I love it. But if we don't refill ourselves, it's really hard to then show up for each other.
Yeah. I love it.
So how do you, I mean, I think you kind of touched on it, but how do you continue to level up, and what does the next level look like for you guys?
We're always playing this game, aren't we?
Yeah, we heard a little bit of that, right?
Yeah, so whether it's self-development, we learn something new, we read something new, we try something new. We've had lots of adventures the last few years with like indoor skydiving, scuba diving with sharks. We've done the pyramids. I rode a camel. Oh my God, the most terrifying thing I've ever done in my life. I've jumped out of an airplane. I'd rather do that again than sit on a camel.
Wow.
Really?
But we're pushing out. Our kids are getting older, so we can push the adventures out on quad bikes in the desert. Like, we've had some amazing adventures, haven't we? We're really, because we had so much, can't see a way out. Now we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. We're really loving and living and enjoying life on purpose. Before it was very, be the parent, do what we need to do. Be the parent, do what we need to do. And now they're that little bit older, they still, you know, need us and want us around, which is awesome. But we have that more flexibility to be able to enjoy each other too.
For each other.
Yeah.
I love that. So you all help people write books, yeah? And you do that together?
Yes, we make the joke that I make the mess and he tidies up, because I pull out people's creative genius. I ask the questions they never thought needed asking and bring out their genius. And then he makes it look polished and professional and does that side.
Into a book.
Excellent. So I would love for you to talk a little bit more about what you do and how, like, your relationship connection supports this gift to the world that you two are bringing.
And your kidpreneurs.
And your kidpreneurs. Yeah.
Well, we have two main businesses, and then we have our children's. So our daughter that we shared about her experiences has 5 books in 3 languages. She's spoken on stages all around the world, and I could name drop some really big names with the world changes that she shared platforms with, and she helps kids overcome bullying and suicide. And her books give back to charities that help children that were just like her, because it's really close to her heart. My little boy, he was inspired by his sister, started writing books at 4. He's now 12 and has 45 published books winning awards out there on Amazon. And he's now creating books and courses for children to become authors too, to help the next generation of young writers come forward. And we ourselves, we have the family side of things. We have our book Creatively Homeless, which teaches people how just to choose different life and be happy. And we help
travel minimalist.
Yeah, we help people design their life on purpose, come together as a family, make plans moving forward as a family. And then we have our book business, where it's a real passion thing for me, because people come thinking they're just going to create a book, and we completely transform their lives, their way of thinking, their perspective on their past. We rewrite their story. It's the same event. we rewrite it from a different perspective, and the power and the courage and everything that gives them. We create best-selling authors, not best-selling books. By the time their book is ready, they are the best versions they can be. I always joke it's my humble way. I like shine the rock up to throw in the lake, and then they go on a ripple and impact thousands.
I love it.
So it's my humble way to make a massive impact. And Dave makes it all look tidy and professional because I'm creatively messy.
Yeah.
What a great balance.
So good.
So more behind the scenes than landing pages, websites, and polishing up the books.
Yeah. Awesome.
I love what you do in the world.
Yeah.
So amazing.
So inspiring. And, you know, I'm thinking back to that moment where you talked about the way that like you all are the model for your kids, right? Mm-hmm. And what beautiful evidence of what you are modeling, mm-hmm. that your kids too are so tuned into personal development, are so confident and aware of what they like the value they have to give to the world at 4 years old, at 12 years old, mm-hmm. and are bold enough to do it and are succeeding and it just really shines a light on what's possible for all of us.
Totally.
When we decide it's possible, when we go after those dreams, and when we do the internal work that like, because as an entrepreneur, we know like it's mostly an internal job to mm-hmm. succeed.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's no different, that internal work, from being successful in our relationships, to being successful in our business, to being successful as parents, or in any other endeavor that's important to us. Right. It's so profound what we can achieve outside of the box, outside of like the normal prescribed path. And you all are modeling it. Your whole family is doing it.
We try and walk our talk. After being in the industry for so long with coaches, I don't want to be another coach that says cool things
and then doesn't do them. Right.
Yeah. Because anyone who has a coach, you want to find a coach that's living or doing or achieving what you want to achieve.
Exactly.
And are actually walking their walk, talking their talk. And we absolutely are doing that. Our daughter got onto stage because she saw me do it and went, "Can I have a go?" Mm-hmm. And then just won the room over in like 30 seconds.
That's amazing.
Kid courage.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, absolute fearlessness. But because we had them walking on fire and hot coals at 4 and 7, making a move with Tony Robbins, rah, rah, like chanting, "I am the voice," like doing all this cool stuff. They've learned from incredible, world changers.
Yeah.
It's stuff you don't learn at school. Their books are based on my little boys' the 6 human needs, the 5 love languages, Honopono, yoga, meditation, self-love, all the stuff you don't get in school, but we need. How to be rich, how to create finances. Mm-hmm. So that's stuff we weren't taught at school. He's putting in books for like 2 to 6 year olds for them to really start gaining an understanding. And it works. The crazy thing is, you watch grown-ups read these books to their kids, and it blows your mind that it works. They start questioning their parents, which, sorry parents, but how cool is that?
It's so cool.
Really cool.
That's so cool.
It's a revolution. It's awesome.
Yes. Changing the world.
Mm-hmm.
Well, listen, I would love to share with the world how people can get in touch with the two of you if they're interested in working with you to write their story or learning more about the books that you or your family have already published. Like, how do people find out more information about David and Laura Helen?
So we have booksboostbusiness.com, which has all our books and all that side of the business. And we have Forever Family, Forever Free, which is our journey and our books. And it's got things about the kids on there and what they're up to and our adventures.
Awesome. Awesome. Yep. We will make sure that those links go in the comments so people can find them with ease. Any last words of wisdom from the two of you before we wrap up today?
Can you go first?
I think it's hard work. You just work at it, communicate, and just love each other as much as you possibly can.
Yeah.
You've got to want it. You've got to want to stay together. Too many people see the easy out. We don't see it as an option, so we have to work through things. to overcome it to get the best result.
Yeah.
And every time we hit any kind of bump, whether it's us or whatever's in front of us, we get stronger and better and clearer. And we meet people that are like, oh yeah, we're soulmates forever. And it's like, and they're teaching relationships and they've been together like a year. And it's like, you don't even know each other yet. We can learn things about each other and it's been 2 decades. So it's just being able to take each bump in the road and look forward to moving forward.
Moving on to the next one.
Yeah, there's gifts in the bumps sometimes.
There's always gifts. The worst moments create your greatest gifts every time.
Yes. Yeah, I love it. Great mic drop for the end.
Yeah, we'll leave it there. So thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in. We'll hope that you join us next week for another Next Level Love story. And please, in the comments, share your takeaways in the chat. Let us know what it is that you loved about today.
And thank you so much, David and Laura, for being here. We look forward to hearing from you again.